I have a question here. Not sure why I have it. This throwaway question. What other morning show do you have beef with? Welcome back to another episode of the Captain 501 broadcast. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's another guest episode, so of course we're being joined by another incredibly talented Belizean guest. So to give you a bit of an introduction, he's a graduate from UWI and Norman Manley Law School. He's the vice president of the Project Dream Foundation, and he's a practicing attorney, and he's also the co-host of Sun Up on 7. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome none other than Brandon Usher.
Hi guys, but no, first right off the bat, you did your research.
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Oof. First time I feel like, somebody summarized my life like that. All right,
Well,
get used to this.
I want to start from the beginning then. Let's start from your educational background. What drew you towards law?
That is a funny story. I actually wanted to do psychology. In high school, let's say, I did 2 sciences, and you know what, I wanted to become a marine biologist at first. Went into sixth form and did art, so I could paint and I could do pottery and all of those things, right? And I don't know why. Well, I wanted to do psychology, was something that was always on the back of my head, and then my dad said no. And I don't know why I picked law. I don't know why I picked law. And I just got accepted into school in the University of West Indies. And it took me, out of my 5 years, 4 years to fall in love with the practice of law. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
Just quick decision.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny story too, because I have associates in law, but the only reason why I wanted to do it was because I wanted to be Annalise Keating in How to Get Away with Murder. Yeah.
My hero, right? So I used to live on that, going through the whole saga and everything, just like, ooh, okay, so this is how it works in criminal law. I could totally do this.
Exactly.
That and Scandal.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm on Scandal right now. Yeah.
Good shows.
Yeah. But then of course, when I actually did the degree, I found out it wasn't for me. So
the beauty about it is, though, in law, I do get some psychology practice as well.
Right.
I have to be able to think about how a person will react, how a person will think about doing certain things, how they would go about doing certain things, how it would affect them. So I have a lot of that. And fortunately, in my studies as well, I was able to study forensic psychology. So all of these serial killers there. So
yeah.
I got all into their minds and had to research them. And I see you guys.
So it is the bar exam, right? Is it as hard as people make it out to be?
In Norman Manley, we have our end of year exams. So it's like all that you've been doing for the semester. Twice a year. There's no tests, there's no quizzes. It's just that make or break exams.
Right.
But if you really put your studying in and what's not, it's really easy. It was kind of easy for me. I excelled more in law school than I did in the university. So the more practical aspect of it, and giving people advice and writing down advice or memorandums and things like that, I excelled more in that than learning about how to research the law or more about constitutional law. So for me, no, it wasn't as hard.
And then now you're a practicing attorney.
Almost 11 years. Almost 11 years.
I want to ask how because you're also a TV personality, how do you switch between the two? Like, you have that bubbly personality, but how do you like switch off and know, okay, it's time to get professional?
Coffee. No, I'm kidding. No. That was a hard thing for me to do. Very hard thing for me to do, especially you see in society people talk about lawyers being so upright and standing proper and prim and all of that.
Right.
And then we hit Channel 7. And Channel 7, as Jules calls it, when halakte meet merab. Like it's just a blend of two worlds, and
Mhm.
it's just raw, irreverent, and what's not. But in our legal world, we can't be that in court.
Right.
So when I first started that show, it was prim and proper, and like sitting upright, and there's no room for humor and things like that. But then slowly, as I went further into the TV world, and being with co-hosts like Renata and Kevin, who are just like Renata, especially, who is just like out there in your face. It's like, all right, well, I could relax a bit. I could relax a bit. And then I started getting into a groove of like being comfortable to the point where like, oh, I could really banter. I could do this. And it has crossed over into my legal world now because I feel more confident in the way I speak. So it's like it's lending each other. It's like a nice crossover.
Right, right. And then you also like you have segments on the show too where you get to show off your law knowledge.
Every now and again, it's like there's a legal aspect of it, especially when we get coach talk
Mhm.
topics the night before and we have to research it. And I'm like, okay, so I know that they want to rely on me for my legal expertise with
Right.
this, especially if the whole roster is all court or legal matters or police matters. All right, right, then I have to get into it.
Mhm.
I do have those opportunities to do that. And I do have other opportunities when like certain segments would come up and it would require some legal background or giving the people a history, and I would be able to do that. But while doing that, it's like in the back of my head, two minds thinking at the same time, TV and then legal. I hope what I'm saying is correct
Yeah.
because I know people from the court watch me,
Mhm.
judges,
Mhm.
the chief justice. She says she's a big fan, so it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I need to make sure I come correct
Mhm.
every time.
No pressure.
No pressure at
Yeah.
all. But trust me, I did that
Mhm.
sort of dig my hand at it. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, Brandon, and then I go back and rewatch, and I'm like, all right, I think I said this correct. Just check with other legal friends as well who are lawyers, and they're like, yeah, you could have expounded a bit more on this. I'm like, all right, good. No, it's all right. Spoonfuls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Right. Tell me a bit about the Project Dream Foundation and how you got involved with that.
okay, so Project Dream. That was something that it unfortunately does not exist anymore.
Mhm.
But Project Dream was the brain seed of a lot of us that were studying over in the university. I know that as a child, I would see my parents helping other unfortunate persons to go to school, pay for their school fees, and things like that. And I said, you know what? I want to be that person. I don't want to be the forefront of it, but I want to be a person that does that as well.
Right.
And so, in speaking with some of my colleagues, we all said, you know what? Yes, this is uh, this is a way to do that. How we came up with raising funds was another idea from another friend of mine who we should just have a sports day with all different type of people, professionals, and it's a networking area to get into. It's a feel free, it's a have fun day, sports day. And let me tell you, it was everything besides your average sports. So we would get together. The first instance we got together, we had this sports day, and it was just insane. We just made four teams, and the four teams compete for the grand prize, which is bragging rights at that point.
Mhm.
And from that, we started merging the two together. And that was the birth of Project Dream.
Mm.
And the whole goal of Project Dream was to, again, give scholarships for students for deserving students
Right.
who we would check their financial backgrounds. We would have them write in essays to see why they're worthy of such a thing. But we would give them their whole year free tuition.
Nice.
And unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't exist anymore. But the last time that we were able to give scholarships, we gave like 5 or 6 scholarships to all to students from across Belize, from Toledo, I think, to Curacao.
Nice. Hopefully it makes its way back.
It's in the works.
There we
It's
go.
in the
There we go.
works.
You're also a traveler because it seems like you're always all over the place. What are some of your favorite places to travel to?
Me, I seek adventure, and I always make the joke with my friends that travel along with me. I'm sorry for putting you through this, but we have to do it. We're in a new country. We have to do everything all day, every day. So they made the joke that, like Lady Gaga said, bus, another bus, club, bar, plane, another plane. It's like that. And we
Right.
just keep going that way. And the last trip that we took to Peru and Chile, it was just insane the amount of things that we're doing. We're hiking up a mountain one day that's 40,000 feet above sea level. So we're like gasping for air. There's no air. They get altitude sickness and they're like trekking along with the alpacas and what's not. And then the next thing you know, we're like literally on the coast eating nice ceviche. So my adventures that I travel for is to get a mix of everything. I want to be with the people. I want to experience that culture. I want to do the things that not the everyday traveler does. I want to go into that hole in the wall bar or restaurant. I want to try the street food, even if I get sick. I always back wrong me Alka Seltzer, was that right? But I've traveled all over so far, and I think my favorite place would have to be probably the Philippines. As all the travel influencers, they say the hardest part is getting over there.
Right.
But when you're there, it's like you're living like kings and queens. $1 drop to like you tip a tour guide $1. They're like, no, this is too much. Take it, take it. Yeah. So my recent travels have been to South America, and hopefully this year we're going to see the continent of Africa.
Nice, nice. What's a bucket list place for you?
Bucket list place. Definitely have to be Northern Europe to see the Northern Lights.
Nice,
And I hear there's now a train that takes you through that, and I'm like, yes, that's it.
nice. Well, I could imagine that you also are well traveled across Belize.
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, I have a game.
Oof.
I played the same game with Renata in our episode, so we'll see how well you compare to her. So the game is called the Belizean 5-second rule.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you some prompts, and you're gonna have to name 3 things relating to Belize, but you have 5 seconds to do it.
3 things relating to Belize.
So I'm gonna say name 3 Belizean whatever, and then you have 5 seconds.
Got it.
All right. So whatever comes to mind.
This is the part where you have to edit because
We'll see. All right,
water,
first one.
cooking the feet. Let's go.
Name 3 Belizean food dishes.
So my rice and beans, of course. I love a good relleno and I love a good salbutes.
Easy.
Just like that.
Next one. Name 3 Belizean streets.
Victoria, Queen, and Regent. Or Dame Benita Gordon Drive. No. There we go. A little bit of history for you.
Name 3 Belizean elementary schools.
Belize Elementary, Grace Primary, and St. Ignatius.
Name 3 Belizean rivers.
Siboon, Sarstoon, and New River. Whew, all right, then I got the pass.
That same one may give Renata a lead trouble. Name 3 Belizean restaurants.
I always go to them. Luca, Midtown, Midpoint.
Yeah.
That's Belize City.
Funny enough that made the same tree or not anyway.
I feel like there's a lot, But those are the ones that I frequent, unfortunately.
Makes
or
sense,
fortunately.
Name 3 Belizean keys.
St. George's Key, Glover's Reef or Southeast Island, my favorite place in the world, and Tobacco Key.
All right. And last one, name 3 Belizean artists.
All right, so we have Britney Starr, we have T.R. Shine, we have Ernestine Carballo.
Easy. Perfect score.
So on a scale of like winning Renata and losing to Renata, where am I?
You're winning. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I will give you a lead joke. I don't know if I will keep the team, but Renata, the one with the rivers, Renata said the Macal River. Not the Macal, she said the Mascal River.
The Great Mascal River, of course.
So when she said it right, I was like, that sound correct, Like we try to figure out if that actually that or not, but then we're like that in my call that why. But yeah.
You know, you should have totally gave me points so I could like, or you should have contacted me to ask me like what to ask Renata. Oof,
Ooh.
oof, that would have been a deadly episode for you. Mm,
I know for next time.
good.
Yeah. Season 2 of the Captain 501 broadcast is brought to you by the National Institute of Culture and History, NICH. NICH is Belize's premier cultural institution dedicated to empowering contemporary and traditional creatives, nurturing their talents, and recognizing their roles as catalysts for change in our communities, safeguarding both our tangible and intangible heritage. The NICH vision to create a Belize that embraces and promotes our cultures, our values, our identity, our prosperity in our global community is brought to life through a diverse array of programs and initiatives. You can learn more about the resources provided by NICH by visiting the Museum of Belize or the Museum of Belizean Art located in Belize City, the various houses of cultures located countrywide, as well as visiting nichbelize.org or other websites and tools such as the 501 Academy and Access 501. All right, so now let's talk about you being a co-host on Sun Up. How did that happen?
Huh. I think it was in. This is a story like that I like to give. Right, my friends and I during COVID decided we wanted to make a YouTube vlog of some sort. And we came up with the name Talk Pan the Rocks, right? Where literally we would be there taking a drink, talking about some very interesting topics, and we wouldn't have to be censored in any way. Um, it was just meant for YouTube, it was just meant for friends at first, but it got popular. And I remember being the host, or not the host, but the guest for the first episode, and we were talking about Valentine's Day and some mismatches and some mix up things, and it was a funny thing because it was pre-recorded as well, and we would have like different memes pulling out and zooming in your face when you're like shocked and things like that. It became very popular to the point I think there were 2 seasons of it. But after my episode aired, I think that was in a March or probably May of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. When we just get off the whole lockdown and everything like that. And it aired, and I don't know who saw it. It was just all over the place. People were laughing at it. People enjoyed it. And then I get a call a day from this random number. I don't usually answer unknown numbers. People know why. But I get a call from this unknown number and, oh, hi, Brandon. Hi. It's Charisse. Charisse who? Halsal. Okay, Charisse Halsal. How can I help you? Oh, Ida found Channel 7 and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't watch the news at that point. I did not know what was happening at that point. It's like, okay, yeah, we're thinking about starting this new morning talk show, morning talk show, and we're thinking that you may be very, fitting in as a co-host for this. I know that we already have selected a woman, but we also wanted at least 1 or 2 males to be co-hosts. Would you be interested? And I'm like, me as a liar, I want talk show. First off, no, right? But I said, okay, to be cordial, I said, you know what? Let me think about it. Let me think about it. That means no an introvert, right? And I let it go. About a few months after that, she calls again. Well, I'm just calling back to see if you had an answer for me, and I'm like, oh, let me get back to you quickly. I did do something. I wasn't doing anything at that point, but yeah. And I consulted with my mom, my siblings as well, and my dad. And they're like, Brendan, well, if you want to do it, it's something, that could give you exposure, but you just have to really be cognizant of what people might be saying out there. Like, you're putting yourself in the public domain. Be prepared for the public say as well. And I'm like, okay, well, when people talk about me, they're like, nothing really what phase me. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess.
Mm.
I guess. So she calls back again, and I said, "All right, Charisse, what do I have to do?" And she explains the whole process to me, and then she puts me through an interview with Jules. No,
Mm-hmm.
to be as Belize would know when
Mm-hmm.
you're being interviewed by Jules, no, a big thing, right?
Yeah.
So I go for my interview, and we're around the same little news table that Indira
Mhm.
does the news behind. And it's the first time I'm seeing this funny looking table. It's the first time I'm seeing the studio is itself. And I'm like, okay, wow, this is a real, like, wow. I'm being interviewed by Jules. You only hear this man name on TV. I think I've only met him like once before that. And then he's like, he asked me these hard questions and we're going through it. And I think I'm doing it good. I don't know at this point what they're looking for.
Right.
And he said, all right, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. And sure enough, they did. Sure enough, they did. And I landed the role, and I did not know who Renata Samuels at that point was. I did not know who Kevin Mendez was at that point. And then we all came together, we clicked, and here we are 5 years later. Or going on 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Scary times, but funny times as well.
How do you well you spoke about it briefly, but how do you balance having a professional life and also a social life?
This year I'm cutting back a bit on social life. But no, I've said that I do not want. I've always been the person to try to keep work and home at home. But then here we have work that follows me home in the guise of a morning show.
Yeah.
I have to be looking at the news now. I have to be, focusing on some of these topics. I have to be reviewing, studying, reviewing history. How did we get to this point in the news in order to cross that over? And then when I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, yes, guys, I do it for love. 4:30 in the morning to go on this show, or to get ready to go on this show, I have to then transition, do a hard shift from entertaining and being fully aware of what my country is going through to now focusing in on what my client or clients are going through at this point. It takes a little transition period. We finish the show at 8:30, and by I'd say about 9:30, my brain is like not functioning. All right, Brendan, let's get into work. I try to keep, like I said, my office job, my profession at work and not take it home, but I've had the crossovers as well. Sometimes I would be up till 2 in the morning drafting these legal arguments and have to wake up 4:30 in the morning
Hmm.
to go right on the show. No coffee, by the way. No coffee. Coffee makes me jump off the walls. And just try to push it through. So weekends, I'm like a log, dead. Sometimes. Sometimes because Sundays, right? Sundays, that's when a lot of socializing happens. Then I go to work the next day, juggle.
And then to not to mention to you're a public figure, so you like have to always be on, especially when you're doing basic things out in the wild.
I still try to get used to that. Like I said, it's going on 5 years, and when people stop you on the street and, oh my gosh, you know the Wi-Fi, stand up, or or oh my God, Brandon, I love this show and whatever. Like I still don't know how to react. My initial thing is thank you so much for watching and supporting us and what's that. But someone and like, can I take a picture? Like, oh wow, oh wow. Now, like you said, I'm in the wild. I'm looking wild at this point as well. But okay, they're seeing the raw Brandon, and it's not anything different from what they see on TV. So authentically me on TV is authentically me on or in the wild, just a little bit, just after my morning bath or something like that. What you see on TV is after my morning bath, but then there's days I don't go without bathing on the streets. I'm kidding, no. But yeah, it's still I'm still getting used to that.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite hobbies?
Favorite hobbies, well, besides traveling, um, sleeping. I do like to go partying, dancing especially. I'm the EDM type guy, so you know, catch me just like oops, 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 all over. Even if you go to my house, that's all that's playing on the thing, on the speakers. YouTube, you go through my YouTube, it's all oons 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 all over. Um, I like that, but I also enjoy eating. Eating is my, I think, one of my biggest vices. I work out to eat. I eat to work out. I like trying new things as well. So this year I've actively made it a resolution that I want to cook more, but cook different things, not just your traditional Belizean things, but cooking different things.
Coke or red Fanta?
None. I don't like soft drink. I don't like soft drink.
Jam roll or
Water.
lemon pie?
I actually don't like sweets either. I don't like nothing sweet. So if this is a sweet based question or
Uh-huh.
line of questions, abort. I don't like
Okay.
anything sweet.
Dokun or tamales?
Ooh. Ooh, that's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally had two of them for lunch yesterday. Wow.
You have to pick one. The other one gone forever.
Tamales.
Mm.
Only because you have meat and you can get creative with it.
Mm.
I had a tamales with raisins the other day. It was actually nice. It was actually nice.
I'll have to take your word for it.
I'll knock it till I try it.
Panades or ganaches?
I don't like none of them. I don't like none of them.
Thank you.
If I had to
Maybe have to
pick
transition from.
garnaches, and with ketchup.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I have to transition away from food questions.
No, you could go along there. It's kind of tough.
Lychee or kickdong?
Oh, lychee. I have not eaten it since August 24th, 2020. There's a very specific date with that. August 24th, 2020, I have not eaten it. I tried kickdong once in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like any other fried chicken. So, lychee.
Placencia or San Pedro?
San Pedro. I have to pick San Pedro now. I've been going there a lot more, and I've started to feel the charm of San Pedro. Placencia have the avenue to the southern keys where, but San Pedro still has that, flair.
Are you more of a snorkeling type of person, or would you more climb a Maya ruin?
Snorkeling. Anything in water. Love it.
Nice, nice. So you're more of the yeah, like you said, you're more of the adventurous type. Yeah.
Go pet a dolphin or a shark. I don't know. They do that.
Who would you say are some of your inspirations?
My inspirations. Whew, that's not a tough one.
Well, maybe not people, but are you inspired like by art or?
All right.
Mhm.
Yes, by nature. Nature is, I think, just huge artwork. Just like you're trekking along, and I go back to my vacations. You're trekking along some of these mountains. You're breathing. You're gasping for air, and then you reach this site. And I'm thinking about a specific site in Peru as I'm describing this right now, Lake Humantay, where it's literally a lake on top of this mountain. Blue waters surrounded by huge ice capped mountains. And you're just there, like, in awe at everything. And that inspires me to, to just be free, do what you have to do. It is work getting there, but the result in the end is just amazing.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself having my own home, my own property. Um, Me and my two little schnauzer pausers, my little babies. Um, but being more successful in my career and mind a lot more open based on the travels that I will do during that time, those 5 years. Every travel opens your mind a little bit more. I think I would like for it to be like open wide. There's no doors anymore, just going. Yeah.
Nice, nice. I have a question here. Not sure why I have it. It's a throwaway question. What other morning show do you have beef with?
I love how they try to pin this on me. I hope you ask Renata the same
I did
question.
not.
I don't have beef with any other morning shows. When you're the best, you are the best. So,
Okay.
so.
Okay. And lastly, where can people find you to keep up with you on your journey?
All right, so you could find me on Facebook, Brandon S. Usher. I know 4 other Brandon Ushers, so had to distinguish it with that S in the middle. Or at Bushboy, BOI, on Instagram. Or on Sunupon7. Coming to you every weekday from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
There we go. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. A special thank you to Brandon Usher for making his way onto the podcast.
Thank you, thank you.
And a special thank you to you guys for watching as well. If you want more episodes, check us out, the Captain 501 broadcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.